What's good, YouTube? The boys are back again. My man Sesh, your boy 2K the God. Welcome to the Gods of Boxing Talk. Now, for today's segment, we want to talk about Anthony Joshua versus Charles Martin. We had a few of our subscribers ask for this video a while back. I told them we'd do it closer to fight time because we would like to give a prediction on it as well. So, this fight is going to be Saturday, April 9th. It's going to be at the O2 Arena, and it's going to be for Charles Martin's IBF Heavyweight Title. So, Sess,
what up?
Go ahead and break down Anthony Joshua, man, and then pass it back to me, and I'll break down Charles Martin.
Alright. Well, so far, man, Anthony Joshua has looked very good. He's a nice, big, strong heavyweight that has very good punching power. The only thing about Joshua that I'm seeing is I do believe he's still finding himself as a fighter.
Yeah.
He's 15-0. He has 15 knockouts, and he's rose to the occasion against the guys that he's had to rise to the occasion against,
right,
including Dillian White. And that was a fight that I really, really, really liked Joshua. And it was a guy that was talking shit to him. It was a guy that was really, really challenging him. And it was a guy that had something to hold over him. And he rose to the occasion and he knocked Dillian White out. The one thing that I do want to see in this fight with Anthony Joshua is I want to see a little bit, I want to see him use his jab a little bit more.
Yes.
I don't want to see him get so anxious to try to land a big shot to where he leaves himself open. We've seen that in the Dillian White fight where White actually hurt him with the shot, but he was able to recover very well. He played it off really good.
Right.
And I also want to see, I don't want to see Joshua plant so much. The one thing that I've noticed about him, and a lot of this is coming from his last fight because Dillian White was a pretty good challenger. I believe he was 16-0. And he had beat Joshua in the amateurs.
Right.
So he was a good challenger for Anthony Joshua. The one thing that I've seen with Joshua is that he does have a tendency to stand in front of guys.
Stagnant.
And he's very, 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 very stagnant. He has very heavy feet.
Yes, he does.
And I don't want to see that. I will give him his props. He's a crisp puncher. For a heavyweight, he has nice combinations, and he's not afraid to let his hands go. That's actually what I love about him, and I'm real big on that with heavyweights because a lot of times with the heavies, them dudes throw a big shot and they try to get you out of there. Yeah. You know, a lot of them don't really let their hands go, and a lot of them really don't know how to pick their punches. But at 15-0, these are some of the qualities that I'm seeing in Anthony Joshua. I like him a lot. I think he's a strong kid, and I think with him, all he has to do is land the right shot. And with the way that he throws his punches, it's only a matter of time.
I agree. One thing I want to add, man, he's stagnant. He has no head movement. He has no lateral movement. Him being stagnant is based on the fact that his feet are statuesque.
Yes.
That's my word again.
See,
my
man.
Man's feet were chiseled by Picasso himself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he does have a lot of punch variation. He can throw combinations. He has very good hand speed for a heavyweight.
Yep, absolutely.
Only problem with that, again, he loads up on his punches. When he's throwing combinations, he's stuck right in front of you with his hands down. He doesn't bring his hands back, ever. And he's in the middle of combinations, so all this is wide the fuck open. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that's my take on Anthony Joshua. Also, I want to do a little bit of logistics around the fight. Anthony Joshua, he's 15-0, all his wins by knockout, 15 KOs. He's 6'6", has an 82-inch reach, and he's an orthodox. Now, the key factor here, this is the first southpaw that Anthony Joshua has faced as a professional, and it's a title fight. So the lights are gonna be bright. It's for a fucking a major portion of one of the 4 major sanctioning bodies, right? Yep. And it's basically for something that every fighter seeks to get when they turn pro, to be a champion, right? Yep. Charles Martin, on the other hand, he's 23-0 with 1 draw, and he has 21 knockouts. Only 2 people went the distance, all right? He's 6'5" with the 80-inch reach, and as I just mentioned, he's a southpaw. Now, my thing on Mr. Martin, he has a fucking killer. I'm talking, when he lands this bitch, motherfuckers is like, immediately. Killer straight left hand. Bro, he'll set you up. He'll set you up with that jab. And a lot of times, a lot of his knockouts, motherfuckers are coming forward, and he's backing up, and he just, throw that motherfucker out there. And I seen motherfuckers land on the mat, look like they was going swimming, B. Like their hands was, they was really stretched. You know what I'm saying? Off this killer left hand, right?
Yep.
Another pro, he's a southpaw. As a heavyweight, being a southpaw is a huge factor because to be a southpaw or to fight a southpaw, it's better to use lateral movement, right? It's better to move the opposite of that southpaw strong hand, which is usually their left hand, right? So you want to move laterally to the left, right?
Yep.
Because if you're stagnant, if you're in front of a southpaw and you're orthodox, tends to step on your feet because the stances are different. So if you're moving laterally, it keeps that from happening. The reason why being a southpaw in the heavyweight division is so good is because most heavyweights nowadays, they don't fucking move. Anthony Joshua is one of them.
Yep.
So expect to see Charles Martin stepping on Anthony Joshua's feet if he's doing the right thing, right? Step on Anthony Joshua's feet and don't allow him to have leverage on his punches, okay? That's one thing. Two, like I said, Anthony Joshua hasn't seen a southpaw as a professional. I'm not sure if he saw one as an amateur. I'm pretty sure he did. But as a professional, this is different. These are whole new ranks. There's no headgear, no fucking body gear. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So, when he lands a left hand on him, it's going to be a whole different thing, right? Another pro, he does have somewhat movement. I think he doesn't move as good as Tyson Fury does. And I know I'm going to get some feedback because we got a lot of Tyson Fury haters out there. He doesn't move as good as Tyson Fury, but he does move. He moves better than the average heavyweight, Charles Martin does, which leads me into his con. When he's throwing combinations, he's stagnant. He's just as stagnant as Anthony Joshua, okay?
Yep.
He can't necessarily fight off the back foot. Like, he's not going to move backwards and throw combinations at you while he's moving backwards. No. While he's moving backwards, it's most likely going to be a straight left or something of that nature. That man Bo calling me right now. It's mainly going to just be a straight left or maybe a jab to get you to back up, you know what I'm saying? But he's never going to throw combinations and unleash a flurry coming backwards, right?
Yep.
So when he's doing that, he's standing right in front of you and he's unloading. Same thing I said about Joshua, he does the same thing. While he's unloading, he never brings his hands back, right? So he's wide open. If you could come over the top of Charles Martin, you can catch him. Another thing, I looked everywhere to see if Charles Martin has ever been dropped. I couldn't find anything, all right? The level of competition he's fought, not so high. Same thing with Joshua. But Charles Martin's level of competition, not so high, right? So I couldn't find if Charles Martin's ever been dropped. Anthony Joshua is a fucking huge ass hitter. So we have to put an asterisk right next to Charles Martin's chin. Who knows if he could take that big punch, right? And then one of the last cons I have is he has moderate to slow hand speed. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so when he's throwing combinations, it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? So Anthony Joshua will be able to come over the top with a right hand. That is, if he's able to take Charles Martin punches, he could come over the top. You see what I'm saying? He could catch him with a big right hand of his. And I forgot one more thing. Charles Martin is upright like a motherfucker, man. My man fights like this, Sess. Like, he's like this.
He fights 6'5".
You know what I'm saying? Like I understand you don't want to be like this. But the conventional stance, right? You need to have your guard here. That way when somebody's punching you here, you can catch it. Somebody's throwing a punch here, you can catch it. You can't have your hands here, have all this open, and you're a 6'5" fighter. And you're coming forward like this. You see what I'm saying? So So with him being so upright like this, Anthony Joshua can land whatever the fuck he wants. Given Joshua's hand speed, his power, and his punch variation, he can land whatever he wants if Charles Martin is not moving. So that's my take on Charles Martin. Sess, give me a prediction, boss.
Yo, this is a really hard fight for me to pick. But I'm going to have to go with that man, Charles Martin.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Charles Martin, man. And here's why.
Yeah, explain that.
For one, he's only an inch shorter than Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
Okay? He's at a 2-inch reach disadvantage, and I understand that, but he's got more experience than Anthony Joshua at the pro ranks. Yeah. He's had 23 fights, whereas Joshua has only had 15 fights.
Right.
You know, and he's just a bigger hitter than what's his name? Shit. Anthony Joshua, my bad, YouTube. Anyway, he's, you know, he can hit just as hard as Anthony Joshua. I think what it will come down to is whoever lands their power hand first. That's going to be the story of the fight.
Yeah.
I do believe that Charles Martin knows he's going into hostile territory, and if he gets off his left hand first and it lands, he's going to have the edge in the fight. It doesn't even have to necessarily drop Anthony Joshua, but if he gets it off first, he's gonna put something on Anthony Joshua's mind. Joshua's only had 15 fights, and he's never really been touched by anybody.
Yeah.
You know, with the exception of Dillian White, but when he got hit by Dillian White, he had already hurt White. He was already on top
White buzzed him.
Yeah, he did.
White buzzed him.
Yep. And so if Martin comes out and he can land that big hand, that big left hand, I definitely give him the edge in the fight. I just think he can, man. He has more experience. And like I said, when you look at these guys on paper, the physical attributes really aren't as one-sided as a lot of people think. You know, he's only an inch shorter.
Yeah, and he only has a 2-inch reach disadvantage.
Reach disadvantage. I mean, that's really it. So, and a lot of these guys do share some similarities in terms of some of the things that they don't do well. Yeah. Neither guy tends to move a lot. You know, I think I would say that Martin probably moves a little bit more than Joshua.
No.
But at the end of the day, you know, they're not too far away from each other. I just think Martin has better experience in terms of him. He's just had more fights.
So you got Martin by either KO or decision?
Yes. You know what? I'm gonna say KO. I'm gonna take what Charles Martin said, and he said that we're heavyweights. It shouldn't go 12 rounds. If it goes 12 rounds, something wrong with you.
Yeah.
So.
All right. I want to pick Charles Martin. Man, this is a hard pick for me, bro. I've been going back and forth for a couple of days. I'm gonna fucking go against the grain, man. I'm gonna pick Charles Martin, man.
Oh shit! Oh, okay.
This is, and I picked Charles Martin by this much. I mean, Anthony Joshua can land a big fucking right hand and knock this dude out. You know what I'm saying? The elephant in the room for both these fighters is that neither one of them have the experience.
Yeah.
So both of them can make crucial mistakes. I think Anthony Joshua has the tools more tools to be able to make up for the mistakes that he will make in this fight. Whereas Charles Martin, Charles Martin has more tools to make up for the mistakes that he will make in this fight. Whereas Anthony Joshua, he's a little more limited, and the mistakes that he make will cost him more than the mistakes that Charles Martin will make, right? Let us know, you two. We both got Charles Martin. Let us know what you think. Do what you do in the comment section. We'll be real. This is real talk for real fans. 1.